LORNMOR. Welcome back. I know it's kind of hard to believe, but we're already up to track 6 off the attic, a song called Passport. Now, to tell you the story of this quirky little ditty, I've come to the pseudo mall of Toronto's East End, Gerrard Square. I call it a pseudo mall because it's kind of not quite as big as you'd expect and doesn't have the selection that you'd anticipate from a typical mall. So it's like a mall, but not quite. It's kind of small, some of the stores are shite, and one even activates my fight or flight. I want to start our tour in the southwest corner of the parking lot where there's a McDonald's. This McDonald's is the only business on the lot that is separate from the main mall. Great. The next stop on the tour is the south face of the mall, which is along Gerrard Street. All the businesses along here are attached to the mall, but are only accessible from the street. And then there's also just this decommissioned entryway of some kind. It's kind of an eyesore. Not a huge fan of this thing. Oh yes. To the left of the main entrance is this Food Basics. This is not a nice place to be. The vibes in here are always rancid. It is woefully understaffed and typically messy. The carts try to escape, but they can't. People in wheelchairs or mobility scooters have to ding a button from the outside to get in, and it triggers a bell on the inside that the entire store can hear. Thankfully, it's all uphill from here at Gerrard Square. They may not have an Apple store or any of your favorite fancy clothing brands, but they do have a weird little food court, a cash-only lottery stand, a fucking Home Depot, and this place. This place freaking rocks. Just stuff stacked to the tits. I love this place. Gloves aren't as cheap as Home Depot's though, which is crazy. I got them for $1 at Home Depot. And then there's just this big giant hallway up here that just has a Winners and a Planet Fitness. Nobody's up here. It's so strange. Nobody here. Thus, we arrive at the location where today's story takes place, the Service Canada. We're here because this song is about Haley and I applying for our adult passports. We did so in the middle of 2022 at a time where the most recent COVID travel restrictions had just been lifted. Canada, you have the option of applying for your passport in person or by mail. At the time, we had a family trip planned for just a few months away, so we decided to apply in person to try and save time. This was, to say the least, a fatal mistake. I think it's time for a change. This is why I stand all. We showed up to the Service Canada with our applications ready to rock, only to find that the entire city had also decided to get their passports renewed that day. After standing in the line for almost 2 hours, I decided to triple check our application to make sure everything was perfect and we weren't going to get turned away once we got to the front. But it wasn't right. I fucked up the application. So we had to go home, admit defeat, and try again another day. I simply couldn't face that line at Gerrard Square again, so I decided to mail in the applications this time instead. Did you get what I said? Yes, I did. You Several weeks later, our applications were returned to us because You guessed it, I forgot to put in my credit card information. Once again, for the third time, we're back to square one. This third time, it worked. We sent him off. We got our passports back. At this point, the trip was canceled anyways, so there was no longer a time crunch. If you have any prospect of traveling anytime, just get your passports done now. There's no lineups at the Service Canada. Just go do it. All right, that's my PSA. Enough chitter chatter. Let's go to the laptop. Let's get serious. So just 2 tracks there for the intro, just the rhythm guitar, which is much the same as we've seen from any previous tracks in the attic. Despite what it says there, it's not an acoustic, it's still my Strat. Some lovely 7th chords. It's a little bit of flanger, which if we turn it way up to show you what a flanger is, it'll do this. So that's what it does in the extreme, but we don't have it extreme. We have it just a little bit, just to add a little bit of flavor. All right, in the lead. Nice and simple. Okay, bass, drums, and vocals all come in here. Let's have a look at the drums. I built a whole new kit for this song. Really like this snare, and in times I've listened back to this over the past year. All right, let's listen to the ass. There you go, sounds pretty much the same as it has all throughout the album so far. Their soft distortion is back. I haven't really told you anything about my bass actually, now that I think of it. It is an Ibanez Sound Gear, I think. Ibanez Sound Gear something, it's a 5-string, which means it has a really rumbly, thick, extra low string. Here's what it sounds like. It's basically inaudible to the naked ear. Give a clue. So that extra little noises, that's this guy down here. Clue. Just a bunch of extra delay thrown on it just to fill in some space. Through brain is yeah, and I really like that little transition into the hook there. Stupid. Okay, simple stuff for the hook here. Just the drums up here, the bass, the double track rhythms, the lead. Oh, Labie needs lunch. Oh, you're right, lunch is late. I'm sorry, darling. I think it's time for a change. This is why I stand all day and wait for you. I'm sorry. Okay, now the guitar solo. We have just an extra reverby one underneath. Okay, second verse now. So we have our usual double tracked vocals up here. Losing I want to go home. Down to spool. So that's just a similar stack to what we've done for a lot of effects so far in the attic. I want to go home. Normal pitched ones. I'm not having fun. High pitched ones, and then some low pitched ones. I turn to say to you, what the cesspool. Maybe I'll take out my pen. Oh god, they don't stop when you solo and unsolo them. The second half of the hook here is where we're at, where there's 2 guitars playing a cool little riff.
I did.
Oh, right. My main take, I say, yes, I did.
Yes, I did.
And then my backup vocals, I said, yes, we did.
Yes, we did.
I always like that in songs, when you hear one take saying one word and another take saying another word. So, there it is.
Yes, I did. You forgot your credit card number.
You can really hear me struggling on this one. Is that this one? Yeah, Lucy, the song's over. The song's over, which means she can have lunch in a moment. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for tuning in to episode 6 of season 1 of LORNMOR. Please toss this video a like if you enjoyed it even a little bit. If you wouldn't mind subscribing to the channel too, that would be incredible. Thank you so much once more.
Goodbye.